Hello everyone, I'm Freaky and welcome to the video. My friends, when it comes to our heroes can be absolutely anybody. From real life to fiction, from either gender, both male and female, you can look up to a character or a person regardless of what their race is, or religion, or creed, or whatever. You can look up to any character or any person regardless of their age. A hero can come from absolutely anywhere, and it can be absolutely anything that makes you like a hero. Like saving your life, saving other people's lives, doing good deeds, showing people you're honourable, showing people with great power comes great responsibility, pushing with all your might trying to do the right thing, and pushing with all your might trying to win the day. Or it could be a self-sacrifice, or you could be pushed to your absolute limit to the point of near death, but that hero can get back up and still continue trying to fight. You could be one guy facing off 1,000,000 enemy soldiers, and you took them all on like a champ. A hero can be honourable, humble, charitable, obviously brave, and all those things that makes you like that person or character. Like, you can be a fireman and risk your life to go into a burning building, trying to rescue people or an animal or something, even if you'll get burned in the process. Or, if you're a good cop, keeping the criminals off the streets. Or heck, you could be the average civilian and you go out your way trying to help people who's in trouble, either from robbers, or you run into a burning building to save a little girl or a little boy or an old person. And when somebody does that, you admire somebody like that because that person put his own life at risk just to save somebody else. And it can be the most admirable thing for somebody to do something brave, either in reality or in fiction. Like in fiction, there are loads of heroes or characters in general that we look up to or we admire because their actions. Like for example, when Goku was facing off against Frieza the first time, even though Goku didn't stand a chance, and Goku even used the Kaioken times 20, which completely screwed up his body, Goku carried on and was determined to beat Frieza with the Spirit Bomb. Or how Superman faced off against Doomsday the first time, and Superman put his all into fighting Doomsday, even costing his own life. Or how Ichigo Kurosaki trained with his dad in order for Ichigo Kurosaki to learn a technique that would make him lose his powers supposedly forever. So basically self-sacrifice. Or how Naruto went to hell and back trying to get Sasuke back, even when everybody was telling Naruto, oh, he's a lost cause, he's a lost cause, he's a lost cause. But Naruto continued, regardless, trying to get his friend back. And yeah, sometimes things don't have to be like heroic acts for you to admire people, but it could also be the determination of what people will go through in order to achieve what they want to get, even if it isn't an heroic act, just like Naruto did when he was trying to bring back Sasuke. I mean, you think of any character or any person in the real world who has done something that was very inspirational that you had no choice but to respect him or her. And there would be times when people wish they could be that person. Like, let's just say for example somebody did something so inspirational, like doing a heroic deed, or they managed to conquer something, or achieve something that no other human is able to do. There are times when people wish they could be that person. I mean, come on, you guys can't tell me that you didn't want to be Goku, and you wanted to fly, and you wanted to do the Kamehameha, or you pretended to do the Kamehameha, or doing the Kaioken times whatever, when you was a kid. Because when it comes to kids, and sometimes adults, we idolize people, either heroes or people that inspired us, to a point that we actually wish we was that person or character because of how he battled all the odds or did something inspirational. Like, you wish you was that person, or you wish that you was that character. And you know what? It's impossible to be that person because you are you and other people are other people. But it's people or characters who do all these great things, inspires other people to do great things, inspiring others, which in turn inspire other people, and other people will look up to you because of the inspiring things that you've done. For you see, heroes and people who do good things are there to inspire us, regardless who that person is. Like, you can be any race, you can be a woman or a man, or you could be a non-human character, and other people will look up to you because of the great things that you've done or that person has done. And this is what leads me on to what I want to say in this video, and that thing is Spider-Man. Now, when it comes to Spider-Man, especially in recent times, the world sees him as one of the greatest heroes in fiction, right next to Batman and Superman. Yeah, Spider-Man doesn't have the intellectual of Batman, or he hasn't got the strength of Superman, but it's how Spider-Man uses his powers, even through hard times. Spider-Man does good things because he can. He can use his powers to overcome all the odds if he was to put his mind to it. And when I mean Spider-Man, I'm talking about Peter Parker. And when it comes to Peter Parker, aka Spider-Man, Peter has done all these great things throughout his stories, even when it's the most heartbreaking thing when it comes to Spider-Man, like losing somebody like Mary Jane, or his aunt, or his best friend, or his Uncle Ben, or his daughter in some cases. But even when he's been put down, Peter gets back up and continues to fight. So even through hard times, Peter Parker does his absolute best to fight off the bad guys, even when he's hurting. Heck, Peter would put everybody else first before his own pleasures. And there has been a lot of things that Peter's gone through, and so many things that Peter has achieved, that you couldn't help but feel that you wish you was Peter, or aka Spider-Man, that you wish you could do all these great things that Spider-Man has done. And that's where that famous saying comes from: anybody can wear the mask. In other words, you can see yourself as Spider-Man, because Spider-Man inspires other people to do great things, saving lives, pushing yourself to the limit. Even when you're going through a hard time, you push on and try to save the world, even when you're hurting. And that is something that I can totally get behind, because when Spider-Man is doing all these great things, you wish you could be Spider-Man, not because of his cool spider powers, but because of what he could do with them, or how he can do all these great things and doing all he can to save the day because he can. And you know what? I'm pretty sure if Spider-Man was to lose all his spider powers, I'm pretty sure he would still go out there and try to do lots of good things and still fight the bad guys. And that's exactly what this meaning means. Anybody can wear the mask. It's a metaphor as in you can see yourself as Spider-Man doing all these great things. That's why he wears a mask, not just to keep his identity a secret, but it could also mean another thing too, that you can see yourself beyond the mask too, doing all these great things that Spider-Man does every single day, even when he's hurting. I mean, heck, Spider-Man even helps his villains even when they need help or they're dying. Spider-Man is an inspirational superhero, which is why you can see yourself as Spider-Man. Like, Spider-Man inspires us to do great things, which some kids will say, I want to be just like Spider-Man. Now, when it comes to the general public in the comics, nobody knows who Spider-Man is. They don't know who's beyond the mask. Heck, they don't even know what his race is in some variations, or most variations. Or like, let's just say for example, that we didn't even know who or what Spider-Man's race is. He could be Asian, he could be black, he could be white. The thing is, we wouldn't know. But despite that, let's just say for example that we went through Spider-Man's journey and he was fighting the bad guys and he did all these things, then inspired us to be, or made us want to be, just like Spider-Man. Anybody can look up to Spider-Man, regardless of what your race is, or heck, even your gender. You can be a girl and look up to Spider-Man, or vice versa if he was a girl, like Spider-Woman. Like, let's just say for example that I was a huge Spider-Man fan for like years and years, and we wasn't shown of what Peter Parker's race was. And then, let's just say for example, after 30 years, they finally show us of what Peter Parker's race is. And it turned out that Spider-Man was actually Asian. Now, let me ask you guys something. If that happened to you, and Spider-Man did all these great things for the past 30 years, and you didn't know what his race was, and you could be white, Asian, black, or Hispanic, or whatever, and you was a huge Spider-Man fan, and then 30 years later, they finally revealed who Spider-Man was, and he wasn't the same race as you. Like, he could be black, or Asian, or white, or Hispanic, or whatever. Let me ask you guys this. Would it change the way you feel about Spider-Man if he wasn't the same race as you? Like, after all these years of Spider-Man doing all these great things in his comics, or let's just say for example that he was real, and for the past 30 years he did all these great things, and you looked up to Spider-Man wishing that you could do all these great things that he's doing. Again, not because he has powers, but because he was a great hero that inspired other people to do great things too. And sometimes you wish, I wish I could be just like Spider-Man. I want to do great things like he does. Again, not in terms of having powers, but in terms of doing great things. Would it change the way you felt about Spider-Man if he wasn't the same race as you? Yes or no? Because if it's no, then you guys are on the right track. Because again, that's where that phrase comes from. Somebody as inspirational as Spider-Man, and as that saying, anybody can wear the mask, is a metaphor that you can see yourself beyond the mask and do all these great things just like Spider-Man. But these days, some people just don't seem to get it, because some people have interpreted this saying, anybody can wear the mask, to literally just putting on a Spider-Man costume and being Spider-Man. This is what people has been duped into thinking of what this phrase is, that anybody can wear the mask and you can become Spider-Man. And they mean this in a literal sense. not in a metaphor way. And now we have Miles Morales, who is the new Spider-Man. So supposedly little black boys and girls can relate to Spider-Man, which shouldn't be the case because, again, the metaphor anybody can wear the mask is just that. It's a metaphor, not literal. And these days, people have it in their heads that you have to have a hero that looks just like you, or has the same religion as you, or has the same nationality as you, so you can relate to him or her. And you know what? That goes against the metaphor. This goes against the lesson. This metaphor means you can see yourself as Spider-Man, regardless of who you are. And this is something that everybody has missed. And now we have two Spider-Men, one for white people and one for black people, which goes against the lesson completely. I mean, think what you want about Miles Morales. I think he's a great character, but this whole idea that, oh, you have to have a character to look like you in order to relate to him is completely stupid. You can look up to a character or a person regardless of who that character or person is. And listen, I don't want to hear anything from you guys saying, oh well, Miles Morales is a product of the times, because times change, because there are loads of black little boys and girls and Hispanics who love Spider-Man, which again goes against this phrase. It's not about who's behind the mask, it's about what you can do with your own strength. Spider-Man is an influential character that makes us want to go, I want to be just like Spider-Man. I want to pick myself up and carry on fighting. I want to do all these great things that Spider-Man has done. Well, you can. Spider-Man does what he does because he can. And it's the same with you guys. You can do great things because you can. And that's exactly what that phrase means. Anybody can wear the mask, but not in a literal sense. It just means that you can see yourself doing these great things because you wish you could be Spider-Man doing all these fantastic things. And you can, just by doing what he would do. Picking yourself back up even through hard times and pushing yourself until you win in the end. That's what that meaning meant. It's kind of like that movie, Ratatouille. Near the end of the film, the critic does this big massive speech about how he was wrong about Chef Gusteau, that anyone can cook, and the critic just assumes that, oh, anybody can cook and anybody can be a great chef, blah blah blah. But at the end of the film, he finally gets it, that not everybody can be a great artist, but a great artist can come from anywhere. A great cook can come from absolutely anywhere. This saying has similarities when it comes to Spider-Man. Okay, not in a literal sense, but more of its symbolism. Yes, an hero can come from absolutely anywhere, but not everybody can be Spider-Man. But anybody can be just like Spider-Man, not in terms of his powers, but in terms of what he can do. A kind-hearted hero that tries to overcome all the odds, even when he's hurting, and he does it with a smile on his face, even though you can't see it. I mean, let me ask you guys something. What about characters like Goku or Superman? Nobody can be like Goku or Superman because their race is one of the most rarest races in the universe. And I've been hearing rumors saying that that spider that bit Peter was a one-of-a-kind spider. I'm not sure how true that is, but if it was supposed to be a one-of-a-kind spider, then how come there's another spider like it? And it gave Miles powers too. Now he can become invisible and he's got that electric power thing, which, if you guys really think about it, Peter can't go invisible or he can't use electric powers. Peter doesn't have those two things that would give him an advantage. And Peter has beaten villains in the past without using invisibility or using electric powers that Miles has. And Miles has two new things that is an advantage to him, but Peter doesn't have those things. And we've seen Miles use these two new abilities to win a fight, but Peter doesn't need those things in order to win a fight. So if you really think about it, Peter is the superior Spider-Man, simply because he doesn't need those powers in order to win a fight. But Miles does. And again, that goes against the message. Only because you have extra powers doesn't mean you're better than the original. Only because you have powers doesn't mean you're better than the average person. When it comes to Spider-Man, or Peter, he does all these great things because he can. And we as humans, we as people, can also do great things because we can, especially when we don't have powers. You don't need superpowers in order to do great things. You can do great things with your own power. Like, what's stopping you from stopping people from bullying other people? What's to stop you from rescuing a cat that's in a tree? What's to stop you from stopping robbers trying to rob an old lady? What, is it because you're weak? Is it because you haven't got any superpowers? Or is it because you're scared that you'll get hurt and you'll get robbed? Or, oh, you're far too busy to do anything because you're just busy? Or is it because you're too freaking weak and scared? You don't need superpowers in order to do great things. You can do great things all by yourself. And characters like Goku, Superman, Ichigo Kurosaki, every single hero in DC and Marvel, and in anime, and in books, comic books, manga, or people in real life that put their lives on the line, or has done something to inspire you, regardless of who they are, you can relate to people by their determination and bravery. Like, how many of you, back in the day, trained because you saw Goku train when it came to that gravity chamber. How many of you had the determination of trying to preserve something that you care about, like Naruto trying to preserve his friendship with Sasuke? There's been loads of characters on TV that we wish we could be because of all the great things that they've done. Like, we wish we had that determination of wanting to beat Frieza, or somebody that's like Frieza. Okay, not in a literal sense, but more like somebody that is powerful, but we overcome all the odds in order to beat this person with our own strength. I mean, come on, Goku never gave up, and Goku became the bigger man, and he didn't finish off Frieza, and just left them there because Frieza became afraid and ashamed, and he was becoming weaker as the fight went on. So Goku was humble. I mean, yeah, think of what you want about Goku and his choices, but at the same time, Goku also made mistakes. But saying that, there were times when I wish I could just be just like Goku, giving people chances, putting people down but not out, overcoming all the odds, self-sacrifice. Goku was my hero in Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball GT, but in Super we had Clownku. But in the other 3 series, that was my Goku, and I wanted to be just like him because he was inspirational. He inspired me to go for runs. Goku inspired me that I had to stick up for myself, and that was inspirational. And if you fall down, you get back up and you fight to the bitter end. That was my Goku. He was my hero. He was inspirational and influential. And you know what? I don't need Goku to be the same race as me in order for me to relate to him. You can be any race, Asian, black, white, or whatever. I mean, heck, in Mexico, everybody loves Goku. And Goku is an Asian Saiyan, I think. Like, they were broadcasting the last episodes of Dragon Ball Super in Mexico. The Dragon Ball series is a huge thing in Mexico, and every race loves Goku. The series Dragon Ball has inspired an old generation, maybe even 2 generations. And Goku has inspired kids to do their best. Again, sure, Goku isn't perfect, but he was our hero. We wanted to be like Goku. Goku taught us that we have to keep on trying to the very bitter end and not give up. Again, I've seen Mexicans, I've seen black, I've seen white, I've seen Asians who loves Goku, and Goku isn't the same race as us. But that doesn't matter because we can relate to Goku. We was inspired by Goku. So wouldn't you guys say that you can relate to Peter Parker regardless of your race? So what exactly is the problem when it comes to Peter Parker? I mean, if anything, if you ask me, I think Miles is a downgrade to Peter Parker. Peter didn't need those extra powers in order to win a fight. He won his battles without those powers. Miles is just a black version of Peter Parker and Gwen, and Miles as all Peter's villains. And the only reason they brought in Miles Morales is because for the sake of diversity and nothing else. Miles doesn't bring anything new to the table. Again, he was brought in because of virtue signaling, not because they wanted to bring in some good storytelling, which is a freaking tragedy because I would have liked Miles. But again, he brings absolutely nothing to the table other than he's Spanish and he's black, and that's it. And the only reason they did that is so, quote unquote, little black boys and girls and people who speak Spanish can relate to Spider-Man, which again goes against the message. I'll say it one more time, you don't need a hero to look like you in order to relate to him. A hero can come from absolutely anywhere and do great things, and that in turn will inspire you to do great things too. And we the generation knows we're not going to turn into a golden Zaru or a great ape, or we're going to fly, or we're going to throw ki blasts, or turn into Super Saiyans, because Goku can do it. But again, it's what Goku can do to overcome the odds, and that is his determination to win. Even if he was to take away his arms and his legs, even if the Kurken destroyed his body, even self-sacrifice. I mean, to my black audience, and my Asian audience, and my female audience, etc, etc, would you have preferred it if Goku was your race, rather than who he is on the outside? Or do you love Goku just the way he is? Because I certainly wouldn't want Goku to be the same race as me, because I love Goku just the way he is. I don't want Goku to be the same race as me. I can relate to him. You can relate to anybody, regardless of who they are, when they do great things. Your heroes can be absolutely anybody. You could be Asian, and your heroes could be Jon Stewart, Static Shock, Spawn, Miles Morales. You can be black and your heroes could be Peter Parker, Thor, Batman, The Flash. You can be a girl and love Dragon Ball Z, or you can be a guy and love My Little Pony. So you don't need race replacements or race swapping in order to relate to a character or a person. You can relate to a hero or a person regardless of what his race or who that person is. So again, the phrase anybody can wear the mask is a metaphor. You can see yourself as Spider-Man when he does all these great things. Spider-Man is there to inspire you to do great things, and anyone can wear the mask isn't a literal thing, but a metaphor. Not the fact that, oh, everyone can wear a mask in a literal sense, but again, it's a metaphor. And it's the same with any masked hero. Like, remember in the series Justice League Unlimited, where the Flash was talking to the Trickster? Because the Flash knew the Trickster wasn't well. He didn't need to punch him or threaten him. The Flash just talk to him, saying stuff like, oh, you haven't been taking your medicine, or oh, you're in the suit again. And the Flash just asked him where the other villains are, and he even promised he would come and visit him in the hospital, and they would play a game of darts. And the Trickster said, okay, they're going to ambush you at the Flash Museum. And the Flash even asked the Trickster, after when he finished his drink, the Trickster should turn himself in, and the Trickster said yes. And you know what? That was one of the most inspirational things that the Flash has ever done. He didn't go in guns blazing, or he was punching everybody, or he was trying to take down people. The Flash actually talked to people. In fact, the Justice League Flash is one of my favourite heroes on the Justice League, simply because the Flash is the heart of the Justice League. He's fun, he's funny, he tries to see the good in everybody, and he also tries to help his villains, just like Peter Parker or Spider-Man. And you know what? That was inspirational of what the Flash did in that bar. It's one of the most iconic things that the Flash has ever done. Like, if somebody's unwell and they need help, you just sit down and talk to them saying like, listen, you're not well, you need to go to the hospital and get some help. That was inspirational, and it makes you want to be just like the Flash. He didn't use his powers to win a fight. He won a fight just by using his words and concern for somebody that is ill. And that is a superpower that we all have. We have the ability to reason with people and say when they're unwell, and we try to reason and talk to them. I mean, it's the same with Superman. Superman never ever goes all out on villains because he knows that he could break anybody in two if he did try. Because as we all know, Superman is the Boy Scout, and Superman has done loads of great things that inspired us to say, you know what, I want to be just like Superman, because he's the Boy Scout. He basically has the powers of a god, and he uses them for the greater good. Superman is an influential character. Batman is an influential character. The Flash is an influential character. Thor, Iron Man, the Hulk, Goku, Spider-Man, and so on and so on and so on. Every single character that inspired you or influenced you is what makes you a better person. And all these things I said about all these heroes is there to inspire you. John Jones might not be the same race as me, or Static Shock might not be the same race as me, and Samurai Jack isn't the same race as me, and so on and so on and so on. But I don't care about that. It's what these characters do that inspire us, not because of what they look like. And you know what? I really do feel sorry for Miles Morales, because they made him the tokenized Spider-Man, and that's basically all he is. He's a tokenized virtue signal, which is really sad, because I would have loved Miles Morales, because there was one or two things that was influential about him, even though it was done poorly. Like in Spiderverse 2, we were told that if Miles saves his father, he would destroy not only his universe, but every single dimension with Spider-Man in it, if he was to save his father. And even if he does save his father would be destroyed alongside the world anyways, and maybe even the Spiderverse. But hey, Miles doesn't care. He goes to try and save his father anyways, which is selfish and unreasonable. But the one thing that was influential and inspiring is when Miles was told, oh, you will never be Spider-Man, you will never be Spider-Man, etc, etc, etc. Miles was told by everybody that he will never be Spider-Man, and his speech saying that, oh, everyone's been telling me how my story is supposed to go. Nah, I'm gonna do my own thing. And you know what? That was inspirational. How he says, oh, I'm not going to let everybody tell me how my story is supposed to go, and I'm going to do my own thing regardless of what other people say. And you know what? That was influential. That was great. But sadly, Miles was put in a position where he looks like the bad guy. Like, he's the unreasonable kid that's ready willing to let a universe, or even the Spider-Verse, be destroyed in order to save his father. And even though that little speech of him saying, oh, I'm going to do my own thing regardless of what everyone else says, Miles was put in a very crappy situation. And that speech that he says is overshadowed with the fact that he is ready and willing to let an entire universe, or even the Spider-Verse, be destroyed if it means saving his father. One life over infinite people. I mean, come on, it does make him look like the bad guy. So, good message, but it was brought in at the wrong time and in the wrong situation. I mean, if anything, the situation that Miles is in now makes me even more want to follow Peter Parker even more, simply because of how selfish Miles is. And when it comes to these other spiders ready and willing to let other people die for the sake of saving the dimensions or saving the Spider-Verse, that in itself is a great cause. Yeah, it is messed up that they're ready and willing to let people die, but at the same time, they don't have the information on what they can do to stop the Spider-Verse from the cannons. The fact that they have to let somebody die that they care about in order to save the world, even if it hurts them. And you know what? That in itself is an heroic thing. I mean, a very messed up heroic thing, but it's something that needs to be done in order to protect the universe. And none of these spiders want that to happen. None of these spiders wants the police chief or somebody that's close to them to die. And it's possibly the most crippling and heart-wrenching thing that any of these Spider-Men or women has to go through, because these guys see the bigger picture, and if they could stop the cannon event, or they found a way to stop the cannon event, then they would have done so ages ago. But none of them doesn't know how to do that. They don't know how to stop the cannon event. I mean, if you guys really think about it, Miles is a hypocrite. He goes on saying that, oh, we're supposed to let people die. You know how messed up that is, right? But the thing is, he's going to rescue his father in order for the universe to be destroyed. destroyed. That's very, very hypocritical. And I know what some people are going to say. They're going to say, oh, but freaky, Miguel might be lying. Miguel might be the one who is lying. Yeah. I've been hearing a lot of people saying that, oh, Miguel might be lying, that he's the one behind all these horrible things that's happening. But the thing is, how do we know that Miguel isn't lying? For all we know, everything that Miguel said is true. And I think the only reason as to why people want to say that, oh, Miguel is lying, is because they don't want Miles to be wrong. That Miles as the moral high ground, and he's the one in the right. And this is one of the things that really ticks me off. The fans of Miles Morales wants him to be right. These Miles Morales fans wants to have their cake and eat it too. They want everything to go their way. They want everybody else to be wrong and Miles to always be right. And that's one of the things that's the problem with today's media, that the main character is always right and everybody else is wrong. And that's one of the problems when it comes to Miles, that he has the moral high ground. He was ready and willing to go against the Spider norm. The fans desperately want Miles to be in the right. But I think many people forget one of the greatest lessons in life is that sometimes you're going to be wrong. Even if it's something that you believe in, with all your heart, and you're told that you're wrong, even showing evidence that you're wrong. But these days, people can't accept that they're wrong. The fact they always have to be right, that their way of thinking and their way of doing things is always right, and everybody else is wrong. And that's the problem when it comes to Miles and the fan base. The fact that they can't accept that Miles is wrong and everybody else is right. They want to believe that Miles is in the right, and the fans is saying, oh, screw what all these characters say, Miles is in the right. But again, one of the greatest lessons in life is sometimes you're going to be wrong. Sometimes you can't achieve things the way you want them to. Sometimes things can't always go your way. Sometimes you're told things and you believe those things, but when you're told by other people saying that it's wrong, even though you've got the evidence to prove it, you're going to have people who's going to be in denial and say that you're in denial and can't face the truth, because hey, we don't want to be wrong. Nobody wants to be wrong. And this is something that we need to teach people these days, that sometimes you're going to be wrong, and sometimes there's just nothing you can do to change things. So in my opinion, I think Miles should be the one in the wrong when it comes to the next movie, because this will teach people that there is just some things that you can't change, and there's just some things that is out of your hands or out of your reach, and you just can't reach those things. I mean, if you want to be the greatest runner in the world, and you try your damnedest every single day to be the greatest runner in the world, and you was at the Olympic Games, and you tried your absolute best to win the Gold Cup, but sadly you came in second or third place. But hey, at first if you don't succeed, try again. And even if you can't reach that goal, at the very least you tried and you gave it your all. And you know what? That's all people asked of you, is just to give it your best. It's not like it's the end of the world if you was to fail and not get the results you want. Again, you can't have everything go your way. Trying your absolute best is all that people ask of you, is just to try your best. You can't have your cake and eat it too. Life isn't going to be that perfect little bow at the end of your life. It just isn't. So in my opinion, I think the lesson of you can't have everything go your way, and there are some things that are out of your reach, and there are things that you just can't change, and you're going to lose. And even if that's the case, you get back up and try to do better next time. And if Miles does lose his father, then that would give Miles more push to be a better Spider-Man. Just like what happened with his uncle, Miles would be given that push to be the better Spider-Man and trying to figure out a way next time to save other people. Or heck, he could try and figure out a way to stop the cannon events, to save future people. And you know what? I could totally get behind that if Miles was to do this. That he comes to accept that there are some things that you can't change and you can't have your cake and eat it too, but he'll try better next time to save other people. That would be influential. That would be inspiring. But in the movie, when he escapes and goes to try and save his father, it just makes Miles look like a selfish ass. And Miles goes on and on and on saying, oh, I'm not a kid, even though he's acting like a freaking child. And that's somebody that isn't inspirational. The lessons that Miles gives is just saying, oh, you can have your cake and eat it too. And you know what? I think hard lessons should be brought back into movies, saying, oh, you can't always have your own way, and sometimes things are just going to be too far out of your reach to achieve those goals. And you know what? Shit happens. Your story in life isn't always going to go perfect. In fact, sometimes life ends in a sad way for half the human race. You're not going to be able to achieve your dreams. Sometimes you're going to end up in a place that you wish that you wasn't in, like losing your sight, or losing your ability to walk, or not having the ability to reproduce even though you wish you could be a mother or father. Sometimes, if not most of the time, dreams don't come true for all of us. And it's this hard lesson that makes us stronger in the end, not getting everything that you want. Okay, I'll give you guys a few more examples. Let's have a look at Azula from Avatar: The Last Airbender. Now, when it comes to this character, it's actually a mixed bag when it comes to this character. Now, Azula has done some really terrible things in the show, but at the same time, we've seen how complex she is. And in the comic books, you can see that she's just a broken girl. that needs help. And in the comic book The Search, they try to humanize her as much as they could. And that comic was so freaking awesome. When Azula looked at her mother and she says, "I wish I was a good mother to you. I wish I gave you more love." And Azula's face, oh my god, Azula's face was just so, I don't know how to describe it, but it was just so, well, magical. Now, they am hinting that they am going to give Azula a redemption arc in the next comic book. The Spirit Temple. I mean, fingers crossed. But when it comes to Azula, she has both her haters and fans and people who love her within the show and in real life. Some characters in the show say, "Oh, she can't be redeemed. Oh, she's a monster. She can never ever change." And nobody trusts her. But you'll also have those characters who says, "Let's see if we can try and give Azula peace." Or their mother says, "I wish I could see my daughter again." I mean, heck, even Hang, the very person that she almost killed, even thinks there might be some redemption for her in the comics. So really, it's a mixed bag when it comes to Azula within the show. Some people don't trust her and some people want to see her happy and wants to give her a chance. But in the real world, there's people say, "Oh, she can't be redeemed," or "Oh, she's a monster. Oh, she doesn't get redemption." And you'll also have a fan saying that, "Well, you know what? If it wasn't for her father, she wouldn't be the way she is." And some say that, "Oh, she's just a troubled child that needs help." So basically, you have her defenders or her fans that says, "You know what? Let's just give her a chance to redeem herself." And again, you're going to have those people who don't like her and says, "Oh, she can't be changed. She's a very, very bad person. She's done terrible things in the past." And yeah, I know some people are going to say that, "Oh, there's too many redemption arcs for characters." And you know what? Yes, that's true, but the Avatar The Last Airbender series has been going on for a very, very long time. And I've been hoping for years that Azula would get a redemption ever since I saw The Search. So yeah, you're going to have a mixed bag when it comes to Azula. You're going to have people who hates her, you're going to have people who likes her, both in the series and in real life. Some say they don't want a redemption for Azula, and some people say they do. And I'm one of those people who says that I think she should be given a chance. Or is another series, and it's from Dragon Ball Multiverse. And it's basically about all these characters across time that won against the Z Fighters, like the androids, Cell, Majin Buu, Super Buu, Bojack, and even the Z Warriors are there, and they're in this tournament fighting each other. If you guys want to go and read the manga online, please do, but I'll just get to the nitty-gritty. So basically, there's this character called Sombra, and she's the daughter of Vegeta and Bulma, and in her past, it was shown that her powers got off control, and while she was training with her brother, Gohan, she almost destroyed the Earth in her Super Saiyan 1 form, and when she was on a mission out in space somewhere, she was getting beat down by these aliens, and for the first time, she went Super Saiyan 2, and she could not control it, and she beat everyone with it, but in her blind fury, she destroyed the planet and everybody on the planet, including her brother, and she didn't even realise that she destroyed the planet. And in the tournament, she was taken over by Bobbidi, and she killed everybody, the Grand Supreme Kai, Gohan, Piccolo. She killed a lot of people, and people who was reading this manga absolutely despised Sombra because of what she did. It would take a long time for me to say what's what, but I made a video some time ago, well, 2 videos, about as to why Sombra didn't do anything wrong, so I'll leave a link in the description box below to those 2 videos, or if you want to find them, they're on my channel. Anyways, loads of people absolutely despise Sombra after what she did, and I'm talking about the audience, the readers, the people who was following the series. Everybody absolutely despised this character. Okay, not everybody, but there was a fair few people who didn't like this character after what she did. And then, when Vegeta was about to kill her, Vegeta was stopped by another character, and almost all the characters was vouching for her not to be killed. Goku, Bob Reefs, even Gast. And Gast was giving Vegeta this lecture saying, "Oh, it's a parent's job to protect their kids." And it was at this point, everybody freaking went nuts. And I'm talking about the fanbase. There was a fan story about how Sombra got punished. The comments section went absolutely mental. I mean, heck, even one of the moderators that was looking after the English website of Dragon Ball Multiverse, in his own words, he said, "I didn't like how this story went, so I'm leaving." I mean, imagine that. How petty do you have to be just to leave a site that you was moderating because the story didn't go your way? Or there was the series Bleach. Now, when it comes to the series Bleach, there's been loads of people saying that, oh, they want Ichigo and Rukia to get together. And this is what many people and fans of the series have been saying. Oh, they want Ichigo and Rukia to get together. But at the end of the manga, Kubo was forced to end the manga. And at the end of the manga, Kubo got Urihime and Ichigo to get together, and Rukia got with Renji. And there was fans who did not like this. It was so bad that the fans burn their manga of Bleach because they didn't get the hookups that they want. The point is, in stories and in real life, you can't have everything go your way, and we're all going to have our own opinions. Some people prefer Full Metal Alchemist 2003, some people prefer Brotherhood. I prefer 2003 myself, and I know I've said this over and over again, but there's a series called Code Geass, and I absolutely despise that series. And some people have accused me of saying, oh, you've never watched this series, or oh, you're just trolling, or oh, you don't understand the character, or oh, you're just a Death Note fanboy. And the reason why I hate Code Geass is because it has has so many problems with it, and I just don't like the character of Lelouch. I just absolutely despise him. And again, most people seem to hate it when I say, oh, I don't like this character, or oh, I don't like this series. But hey, it's my opinion. If I don't like something, I don't like something. We're all gonna have our opinions, and we're all unique human beings. Okay, I'm gonna go on the home stretch now. There are other things that I wanted to say, but I think other videos that I've made would be better for you guys, because if I was to say all that stuff that was in those videos, I would just be saying the same thing if I was to say those things in this video. So here's a few videos that I've made I want you guys to go and check out. Number 1, why Spiderverse 1 and 2 is awful. You can find that video on Rumble. Number 2, the video You Can't Have a Story Go Your Way. That's on YouTube. There's also my Somebody Didn't Do Nothing Wrong videos, which is also on YouTube and Rumble. And also there's my race replacement and race swap video, and it's basically me talking about why race swapping is wrong. And also, please go and check out other videos on YouTube, or anywhere else for that matter, on as to why Miles Morales isn't Spider-Man. All those videos that I suggested are things that I extend on of what I've said in this video, and other things I wanted to say in this video, but I think redirecting you guys to those videos would be much better. So remember kids, anyone can wear the mask is a metaphor, and anybody can be a hero. And if you guys still don't believe me or what I said in this video, then here's confirmation from the man himself who created Spider-Man, Stan Lee.
You know one of the greatest things about Spider-Man's outfit, his costume?
What?
He is completely covered. So any kid could imagine he's Spider-Man because no color of the skin shows. He could be black under that. He could be red. He could be yellow. He could belong to any race. And that wasn't done purposely. It was done accidentally. But I think it was the best thing we did, making him so that he could be anybody under that costume.
I never thought of that, but that's true. That's great.
It is.
So yeah, that's all I gotta say here. So what do you guys think? Am I right or wrong? Do you agree or disagree with me? Please let me know in the comments below, and let's get this discussion going. I'm Freaky. Peace out. And please don't forget to check out my other social medias. Please go and check out my alternative video platforms, Rumble, Odyssey, BitChute, Twitch, and please come and hang out on my Discord server. We can play games, have a movie night or a series night, or you can watch me play a few games. And if you guys have any suggestions of any videos you want me to react to, or any video ideas in general, you can tell me on my Discord. I'm also on Twitter, Gab, Getter, and Parler. I'm on Locals, Tumblr, Minds, and if you guys want to support me, please go and check out my Subscribestar. It's like Patreon, but better. All these things are in the description box below, so please go and check them out and subscribe to them. I'm Geek Freak. Peace out.